Hi everybody, this is Demari, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing the love reading for the sign of Cancer. Now, sorry, I know I don't look at my best today. I've not been feeling too well, but bear with me. I will get through this reading still without a hitch, hopefully. But yeah, I really want to finish this before I move into the October read, so I'm determined, I can do this. Okay. So just to let you know, I will be using the Wild Unknown Tarot as usual, clarifying with the intuitive. So it will be a free card spread for yourself and then for your person of interest. This could be someone that you're already connecting with, dating, in a long-term relationship with, or even married to. Or this could be someone that's coming in, so it will apply in different ways depending on your circumstances, okay? So I just want to get stuck in for you, no messing around, Cancer. So, first of all, I'm going to pull the card in relation to what it is that you desire, right? What are your wishes at this time in relation to a love interest or a connection of a romantic sort? So, let's have a look at that. And then following that, I'll be pulling for what it is that you're feeling, right? Your emotions surrounding love at this time. And then finally, what it is that you're manifesting or trying to manifest at this time. Okay. So, just to let you know, in position of your what it is that you're trying to manifest, you've got the High Priestess here. I'm not sure if you can see that so clearly. It may be a little bit bright, but yeah, you've got the High Priestess. So yeah, this tells me that at this time you're wanting to really tap back into your intuition. I feel like maybe you've been feeling out of sorts in yourself, that you've not been feeling like your higher self and your ego are really having the open communication within yourself, right? That connection has been somewhat severed, or there's some distance between those two aspects of yourself. So you're really trying to pull that connection back in. You're really trying to tap into that inner knowing and really feel that you can trust in your intuition again, as you always had in the past, or at least for the majority of the time, right? So it's really a case of that. It's important to know that your intuition is always there. It never leaves you. That aspect of yourself is the fundamental part of yourself, right? The higher self. Right? So it's never gone, it's always with you. It's just a case of, rekindling that connection, taking the time out to really reconnect with the self and, put the work in so that if there are any things that are coming up as blockages that are causing that, friction in any way, or causing this feeling of being disconnected, then you need to be able to look at that and address them, okay? Because there's usually something that's occurring in your life that's distracting you from the work that you need to do, and that could be what's happening here. So just take a look at that, but we'll clarify in a minute as to what that could be in more detail. So in regards to your emotions, you have the Six of Cups in reverse. So yeah, I feel like you're actually, it's not that you're unfulfilled as such. There may be some things about your life that you currently feel are lacking in some way, but I feel like you've just had a lot to process at this time. There's been a lot of things, good and bad, that has occurred over the past few weeks. So you're really trying to just process, I think, more than anything, what it is that you do feel, what has happened, and where you feel you need to be headed, right? What it is you're trying to obtain, what's going to give you that full sense of emotional fulfillment, right? Like a whole 360 view on it, right? So yeah, I feel like you're doing a lot of introspection at the moment. You're really thinking about what it is that matters to you, and that's where obviously this longing for your real intuitive ability to come back into place and give you that awareness again, that clarity that you've always relied upon, right? So I feel like this is very much connected to how you're feeling in yourself more than a connection with someone else, but that can come into play also, so we'll take a look at that. And in regards to what it is you're trying to manifest, you've got the Daughter of Cups. So I think this is where the love aspect comes in, right? Because at the moment, this is very much the first half of the reading. I feel like is very much to do with self-love and self-care, right? It's more on that level. But with this, I feel like this is actually where your love interest or another person comes into play, all right? Because this is Page of Cups energy. So this is, and of course, this is relevant to your sign, right? Being water and all that. So I feel like this is very much a case of you're wanting to embark on something new, I feel like, or have a new sense of connection with someone that's light-hearted, that's fun, that's playful, that's caring, that there's love involved, but it's not too heavy. It hasn't got the heavy aspects of emotion, straight off the bat, okay? I think that's what you're kind of a bit afraid of. You don't want to, be burdened with the heavy emotions and circumstances that come from a relationship, right? You just want the newness, you want the early stages at this point, right? Because it may be that you've come out of a relationship not long ago, or that you've separated from someone and you want to reconnect. So, but you want to take it, step by step, as if it's like a whole new beginning, right? From a fresh slate. For others of you who are still in a long-term relationship or even marriage, it may be that you just want that fun again, Things may have come a bit routine and you feel like there's not so much passion, not in like the fire energy sense, but more in the emotional connectivity, like just that nurturing feeling, like, you're being affectionate with one another and just enjoying each other's company in that way, right? So it may be that you're just wanting to do things that allow you to rekindle that, right? And so that you feel that sense of emotional fulfillment and abundance within your relationship, okay? So we'll clarify these cards further anyway, and as I said, it's going to play in different ways to different people. If none of this resonates with you at all at this point, that's fine. Feel free to have a look at the other signs videos, because it may be that one of your other signs in your natal chart may be more relevant to you in regards to your love life at this time. So do check out your sun, moon, rising, and even your Venus, okay? Because it may be more relevant to you than this particular read, okay? So let's have a look then. Okay, I think I'm just going to pull the clarification cards first for each, and then I will go through it. Wow, okay. So, clarifying the High Priestess here, we have the Knight of Wands in the upright and the Eight of Swords, okay? So yeah, I mean, again, this tells me that you're really, your main priority at this time is feeling connected with yourself again, right? Feeling like all aspects of yourself are connected and harmonizing, and that you can rely on yourself to make informed, intuitive decisions, right? Coming from that place of knowing. That's really coming through there with that Knight of Wands. Like you're determined to get that connection back within yourself, right? So that's very much at the forefront of your mind, I feel. So with the Eight of Swords as well, it may have been that there was a lot of confusion about some of the decisions you're trying to make, or some of the ways you've been communicating with people hasn't been very effective because of the way it's coming across, because you feel that lack and you feel like you can't express what it is that you feel, and you can't trust that you have all the information because that knowing isn't coming through you in the same way it usually does, right? You're feeling that disconnect. So that may have caused some issues, or it may have created a lot of miscommunication, and you're just kind of a bit tired of that now, and you really just want to find a way to bridge that connection within yourself so you can begin to communicate and connect again with yourself and others in a way that comes from a very intuitive, knowing wise, emotionally stable place, right? Okay, so then for the Six of Cups in reverse, which is in the place of your emotions, you have the Ace of Swords. So again, wanting to just be direct and clear communication, a new way of communicating. And then the Nine of Cups as well. So abundance, bringing all of that fulfillment to your reality, right? Manifestation. So you feel like until you're able to sort through your emotions at this time, clearly understand what it is that's taken place and how you feel about it, and then be able to communicate what it is that you want, you feel like you're not quite going to be able to see the results, right? See these manifestations. So that's why this is such at the forefront of your mind right now, to really work on that aspect of yourself and bridging that connection so that it can filter through the other areas of your life and really clear up any confusion, allow you to express yourself more clearly and, really just connect with the people that are on that level with you, right? That share the same desire to connect in such a way, right? So that's what I feel like. That's why that High Priestess card coming out in that position is so pivotal for this read, and in particular this situation for you, Cancer, because that's underlying this whole thing, right? That's at the core of this entire read, that you need to get back into that space of knowing and being able to trust yourself and your judgments and your intuition again, so that you can make informed decisions, so you know how you feel about things, and then you can effectively communicate that with who you need to, right? So just take it how it applies for your situation. So yeah, again, in relation to your what it is that you're manifesting is this time with Daughter of Cups, you have the World card, so closing out the cycle, right? I think you really want to end this chapter of confusion. You want a fresh, like I said, you want a fresh start, you want a fresh beginning with this person. You don't want this miscommunication or conflict of interest or just not being able to communicate your feelings to each other properly anymore. You really want to close that chapter and begin a new way of connecting, a new way of communicating, right? And knowing that you can trust in your instincts to help you do that, and to make good judgment calls, right? And then with the Four of Wands in reverse, yeah, again, because you want that newness, that new beginning, you don't want heavy energy, you don't want to be concerned with future plans and commitments on a large scale at this point, particularly if you're single or you're dating. I think if you're in a long-term relationship, some of the disagreements you may have had may have been surrounding the future, settling down, kids, marriage, things like that. Maybe you wanted them, the other person said they didn't want that at this time. Or maybe you don't want that, the other person does. Or maybe it's just the fact that it came up at all is kind of unsettled you a little bit, because you're like, well, I just want to enjoy this connection before I think about that stuff, right? So that may have been what the confusion and the miscommunication was surrounding. Maybe they felt like you don't want it ever, but what you were trying to say is not now, not at this time, right? So take it however it applies. If you're already married, it could be that that maybe you both settled down pretty fast, right? That you got married and had kids pretty quickly. And maybe one or both of you are concerned that maybe you might have rushed things. Or it could be that you're just trying to adjust to this new life that you have, but you're having some issues, right? So that's why you're trying to look at things, with a fresh perspective, right? Wanting to approach it in a different way, because you feel like maybe we're just not going about this in the right way. Maybe we need to try this in a different way, right? To really see the blessings we have in this situation, in regards to having a loving family or a loving marriage, things like that, right? So it may be calling upon you to really just address the issues and try not to take things so seriously and just enjoy what you have, right? Without the pressure of it being perfect or it being a certain way, right? And just appreciating what you have and each other. Okay. So that's on your side, Cancer. So we'll have a look at your person here and see what's going on here. Because as I said, even if you are single and you have no idea what may be coming your way, there will be probably someone coming up very soon, because with that, as I feel like the majority of this read was very much related to how you're feeling in yourself, but I do see this connection here. So even if you are single, if any of this resonates, it may be that you are going to be meeting someone very, very soon, and that that they might want to move pretty quickly. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, so in the position of your what it is that you desire, you got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So I think there's certain things that you're holding back on. There's certain issues that go unresolved as of now. And this is not you, by the way. This is your person I'm talking about. Sorry, I know it probably sounded like I was talking about you, but this is your person. There's certain issues they have that needs resolving before they can really, communicate with you what it is that they're trying to move on, and then, obviously come to some kind of conclusion. Or it may be that they can't even communicate how they feel towards you at this point, because there's just some other things, more pressing matters that they have to address at this time. We'll have to clarify this to really know what's going on there, but there's something that's not being communicated that can close the door on this miscommunication and move things forward, because there's something they're still addressing at this point. There's something that still needs dealing with in regards to them, okay? So in the position of their emotions, they have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so I think they're done wondering and waiting how things will pan out, how things will move forward. I think they're going to try and move forward quite quickly. As I said, usually if this was in the upright, I would say that they're biding their time and hoping that you will come forward. But because it's in the reverse, I think they are moving pretty quickly, and they feel like if they don't do that, then their wishes will not come true, right? The things that they're trying to manifest, the family life or whatever it is, will not happen for them, particularly with you. So this is why they feel like there's some sense of urgency to take action at this time and to communicate that. But there's something that's putting them off from communicating fully, and it may be because of how you reacted when they started to open up about these things, okay? So in relation to the position of what it is they're trying to manifest, you've got the World card. So yeah, they're wanting a new beginning. They're wanting literally the world with you, right? This is quite literal. Like, they're wanting everything. No half measures here. And I think that did spook you a little bit. If you already know this person, as I said, this may be someone, even if you're dating them or you're single, this may be someone come forward and say, look, I'm in love with you. I don't know how you've not noticed this, but I'm in love with you, I want to be with you, I want to settle down with you. And you're like, whoa, hold on a second, right? That's a lot to process. I didn't even know you liked me, first of all. Or it could be like, okay, I need time to process all of that. That's a bit much, but okay. But take it however it applies. So, as I said, you could be in a relationship or married, but they want everything with you. They're not willing to wait and to settle. They are moving fast. And again, that's probably where some of this conflict came into play. I don't see real conflict, but just miscommunication, and maybe someone got a little bit hurt because of that. I'm thinking more the other person, because you didn't feel like you were able to communicate how you feel properly, because your intuition, you feel like you're kind of disconnected from your higher self in some way, so it was hard to do that. And because also it kind of caught you off guard how quickly this message came in, right? And you were just like, whoa, you didn't have time to think it through. It just kind of, they just put you on the spot kind of thing. So that's what I'm getting there. But yeah, they're serious. They're not messing around. I can tell you that. Whoever this is, they are wanting something pretty long term, right? We're talking the full shebang. Marriage, kids, house, the lot. Even the pooch. Little dog, yes. Or a big dog, depending on your preference. Or a cat. But whatever it is, they want the whole package, okay? So let's clarify this 10 of Swords. So what was it that what is it they're afraid of communicating since this miscommunication happened previously between you two? What is it that they're holding back on? That's what I mean, like. Because there's definitely something here. Okay. So you got the Chariot in reverse, which is Cancer's card, funnily enough, that is you. But you would normally be in the upright unless you're having some inner conflict or inner turmoil, which I feel like you do a little bit at the moment, Cancer, and they're picking up on that. They know that you're not feeling 100% in yourself right now. So maybe that's why they don't want to push the subject further, because they know that you're trying to make sense of what it is you're trying to communicate, how you're feeling, and how you can really tap back into that space of the High Priestess energy, right? And then with the Eight of Wands in reverse, I feel like, yeah, they were kind of, they're kind of taking a step back because they just don't want to put more pressure on the circumstance, I feel. Even though they're very serious and they're very passionate about moving forward with you, they're kind of taking a step back and just taking a look at how you react and what you do at this time, because they don't want to aggravate the situation further, right? Okay, so what about the Eight of Pentacles in the position of how they're feeling? Moon in reverse. So yeah, they are going to, if they haven't already, they are going to communicate something in either way, even though they've been holding back because they're afraid of how you'll react. They know they can't keep it a secret. They have to tell you exactly how they feel. If they haven't already. It may be that they know that you've been working things out, so that's why they didn't want to come forward before, but now they have to. They feel the sense of urgency that, you know, this is the time I have to communicate this, right? And you've got the High Priestess in reverse, right? So, yeah, I'm thinking that their intuition is up, because it's like you both got the High Priestess, so I feel like you have a very intuitive, very spiritual connection to each other, a very strong soul level connection. For you both to be having the High Priestess in either side, even if it is reversed for them. Yeah, I feel like you're very in tune with one another, and that's probably why they've held back, because they could, not only is it obvious in the miscommunication, but they could sense what you were feeling and that you're not feeling quite in tune with yourself. So that's why they've taken a step back, and they realise, okay, she or he, sorry, I just say she because the High Priestess card, but you know, don't worry about the gender, it's just, you know, energies, but they may be thinking she or he, or any gender, this person is not resonating with me in that way, or not in tune with, you know, our wishes at this point, or being able to communicate in that way, because they're having problems with doing that within themselves right now, okay? So I feel like they're aware of that, but their intuition may be slightly off at this time also, because if they were listening to their intuition, they would know that maybe they have to exercise a little more patience, but they're not doing that. It's from what I see. They just feel like they have to communicate how they feel. So, I mean, while it's very important to do that, there are times where it can be not necessarily the best time to do that, especially when you know someone is still working things out. So it could be that, but yeah, I mean, it's going to happen anyway, so you have to kind of prepare yourself for that, Cancer. resonates with you, if they haven't already had this communication with you and just laid everything on the table, they're going to, okay? Because that's, with that moon card in reverse, everything's coming to the surface, alright? And what about the world card, this energy that they're manifesting? Because that is literally the whole package, in my opinion. When I look at the world card in that position for this kind of read, that means they want the full works. Okay, yeah, they want to get rid of the conflicts. They're done with the miscommunication, the misfiring of, you know, of impassioned words, should we say, from a place of fear, right? They want to communicate from a place of love and knowing and trust, not fear. So that's what they're trying to get rid of at this time, on both sides. And they don't want a new beginning, right? While you kind of want to take this a little bit slower or approach it with fresh eyes, they just want to go full works with you, okay? They don't want to have to think about maybe having this future with someone else. They don't want to have to think about, you know, taking it slow and it maybe never going anywhere. They want the real deal. They want to know that it's going to be, you're going to be in it for the long haul, from what I see here. So that's pretty intense, I'm not going to lie. That is pretty intense, Cancer, so brace yourself for that, okay? Like I said, if this communication hasn't happened, it's coming now, okay? Very, very soon. So, what is the outcome for this situation? Let's have a look at that. No, that's way too many. Look, everything in the world trying to come up at the moment. Okay. Last parting advice for Cancer. What is the overall outcome? Okay, we've got two, so we can take that. Alright, so we have the Mother of Cups in reverse and the Sun in reverse. Okay, so that tells me that, yeah, I feel like not all hope is lost, even though these are in reverse. I feel like this is possible. This could be something incredibly beautiful. But, yeah, the reason it's in reverse is because you're not on the same page right now. Someone's moving way faster than the other person is, so it's out of balance, right? That's the problem. It's not that the love isn't there, the desire for the connection isn't there. It is there, I can see that, but I feel like one person's going way quicker than the other, right? So you have to find that equilibrium and go at the same pace together. You do that, and then this will come in the near future, right? But for now, it's in this position, okay? Because you're needing this space and time to nurture your own healing and, you know, reconnecting with yourself so that you are operating on a higher level, in a high frequency, and that you can communicate from a more, not that you're not communicating honestly, but it's clear, it's direct, there's no confusion, right? It's coming straight from the heart. There's no, you know, muddling with the brain, right? There's nothing being, you know, sort of confused, right, by logic, right? It's just clear from the heart. So that's what you're trying to work on, so that needs to happen first. And yeah, and this person needs to know that this isn't beyond their means or their reach, right? But they have to wait, they have to exercise patience, because until you are ready and you do this work, right, you can't get there. You know, you can't, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is something that takes time and work. Even if you're married, even if you have the family set up, you know, to have that blissful happiness, it takes work, right? It's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing project. It's a DIY, right? That lasts forever, you know. To really have that happy, fulfilled relationship, it takes work. So you've got to put the work in, and you've got to give it time as well. So that's what's clearly being communicated here with both of those cards. So any last parting advice for you, Cancer? Okay, so what we got there? Strength in reverse. Okay. So not allowing your fear to get the best of you, and that's for both of you, I feel, okay? Just allowing things to take their course and do the work. Ten of Pentacles in reverse, things are changing, but in order to get to that sun, you know, it's going to take a bit of time. There's things that need to happen on both sides. So just do that, you know, focus on getting your, you know, feeling in tune with yourself again on that level. So really do the grounding work, meditation, introspective work, shadow work, whatever you need to do to get you there, okay? That should be the focus at this point, and then you can move forward in this connection. And yeah, and just look at new ways in how you can really communicate more effectively with each other, right? Because that's a big part of this, the miscommunication. So if you can find you know, sort of creative or a new way to really express yourself, or maybe put yourself in a new environment, right, where you can talk more openly and freely. Because if you're trying to do it at home and say you've got children there, that's never going to go well. Or if you're trying to do it when you're, you know, at work through texting or whatever, that's not going to work. So you need to do it in a way where you can properly communicate, right? And don't be afraid of saying the wrong things. I feel like that's going to come into play for both of you as well, that you're scared that the other person might, you know, get the wrong end of the stick. But just try and communicate in the best way you can, and just clarify anything that's not clear. But just be open and don't jump to conclusions, either of you. Okay, so that's what I got for you anyway, Cancer. I hope that was useful. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, please hit like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll be jumping into your October monthly reading very, very soon, okay? So take care for now, and I wish you all the best with this situation.